I've noticed we're losing subscribers. Not the YouTube kind, but the kind that swore they'd be in my life forever. Funny how that works. One day you're surrounded by people who claim to love you, and the next, you're watching them walk away like you were just another phase in their lives. By the way, if you're here, do me a favor, subscribe. It's free, and unlike some people in my life, you won't regret sticking around. The happiest day of my life turned into a nightmare. And now, my mother-in-law is waving $55,000 in my face like a golden ticket to erase the damage she caused. But I'm not sure anything can fix what she did. I should start from the beginning. My name is Rachel, and I just married the love of my life, Jaden. Our love story felt like something out of a movie: casual coffee shop encounters, deep late-night talks, and the kind of effortless connection that makes you believe in fate. When he proposed in a cozy mountain cabin, with snow falling outside and the fire crackling beside us, I thought I was stepping into my happily ever after. Then I met his mother. At first, Maria was the picture of warmth. She hugged me like she'd known me forever, called me the daughter she never had, and gushed about how excited she was to welcome me into the family. I thought I had won the mother-in-law lottery. I was so wrong. It started small. A passive-aggressive comment here, a backhanded compliment there. "Oh, you don't worry about carbs, huh?" she asked one morning while watching me eat pancakes. "This dress is beautiful," she mused while flipping through wedding magazines. "But it's meant for someone with a very specific figure. Not everyone can pull it off." Every word was carefully chosen. Never overtly cruel, just sharp enough to leave a sting. But I swallowed my discomfort, convinced myself she just had a blunt way of speaking. I wanted to be loved. I wanted to be accepted. I should have seen it coming. Fast forward to our wedding day, a day that should have been perfect. The venue was breathtaking, the love in the air was palpable, and as I raised my champagne glass for a toast, I locked eyes with Jaden, feeling like the luckiest woman in the world. And then, everything went black. I don't remember the fall. I don't remember the gasps, the commotion, or the way Jaden caught me before I hit the floor. All I know is that I woke up slumped in a chair, my head pounding, my dress stained, and my wedding reception ruined. For a while, no one knew what had happened. Then the truth came out. Maria had spiked my drink. At my own wedding. She hadn't meant to poison me, just loosen me up a little, as she later put it, laughing like it was all some harmless prank. She'd slipped something into my champagne to help me relax because she thought I was too uptight. Too uptight. At my own wedding. Jaden was furious. I was devastated. Maria? She shrugged it off like it was a joke that had gone too far. She even tried to justify it, saying she just wanted me to be more fun, more easygoing. She insisted she hadn't expected me to faint. And now she's trying to buy my forgiveness. $55,000. That's what she thinks her actions were worth. That's the price tag she's put on my humiliation, my ruined wedding, my shattered trust. But here's the worst part. Jaden has made his decision. And I don't know if our marriage can survive it. I should have known Maria wouldn't stop at just ruining my wedding. She wanted control over every part of me. At first it was subtle. Little comments wrapped in a sugary sweet voice, like poison dipped in honey. My friend's daughter lost 20 pounds before her wedding. She looked absolutely stunning. Have you thought about doing something like that? I laughed awkwardly, pretending it didn't sting. I'm happy with my body, I mumbled, but her eyes scanned me like I was a project in need of fixing. The next morning, she was rifling through my kitchen cabinets when she let out a fake little chuckle. "Oh wow, you have a lot of snacks in here. I try to keep my house a bit healthier. You don't want to gain weight before the wedding, do you?" I froze. My own kitchen. My own food. And here she was, inspecting my cupboards like a warden checking contraband. What made it worse was that she never made these comments in front of Jaden. Around him, she was sweet, doting, the picture-perfect mother-in-law. But the second we were alone, the mask slipped. I told myself I could handle it. I told myself I was strong enough to ignore her. But she started coming over more and more, hovering over every wedding decision, acting like she knew better than I did. And then came the moment that broke me. I was exhausted, desperate for just one day of peace, so when Maria called saying she was coming over again, I blurted out that I'd be going wedding dress shopping. I thought that would be enough to get me off the hook. Big mistake. She lit up with excitement. "Oh, I'd love to come along." I swallowed the lump in my throat. I didn't want her there. I knew she'd pick apart every dress, every detail, every inch of my body. But how could I say no without sounding rude? So I smiled. I nodded. And before I knew it, she was at my front door, beaming like she'd won a prize. The bridal shop was hell. She shot down every dress I liked. "That style doesn't flatter your figure." "Oh, that one's a bit tight around the waist, don't you think?" Tight around the waist. I wanted to scream. I wanted to tell her to shut up. But instead I smiled, pretending her words weren't crawling under my skin. By the end of the day I had found nothing. I was drained. She had sucked every ounce of joy out of the experience. I thought I was free after that. But Maria kept texting, asking when I'd be shopping again. I dodged her questions, but then Jaden, completely unaware of the storm brewing, casually mentioned I'd be going back the next day. Maria called instantly. "What time should I come over?" I panicked. The idea of her ruining another day, another moment that was supposed to be mine, was too much. So I lied. I told her the bridal shop had a strict 2-person guest limit, and my mom and maid of honor were already coming. It was the worst lie ever, and Maria knew it. "What kind of bridal shop has a rule like that?" she scoffed. I fumbled. "I know it's weird, but that's what they told me." I could feel her disbelief through the phone, could imagine her tight-lipped smile as she saw right through me. But before she could poke any more holes in my story, I hung up. The guilt hit me like a wave. I had lied. I had lied to Jaden's mother. But as my mom and maid of honor picked me up, I told myself that today was supposed to be fun. Today was about me. Not Maria. Not her judgment. Just me. Little did I know this was only the beginning. Because Maria? She wasn't done with me yet. I should have been celebrating the happiest day of my life. Instead, I woke up on the floor, surrounded by panicked guests and flashing ambulance lights, all because of Maria. The wedding had been a dream. Jaden's face when he saw me in my dress, the vows, our first dance. It was all perfect. For once, I wasn't worried about Maria's disapproving looks or backhanded comments. She had gone silent in the weeks leading up to the wedding, barely reaching out. Even when I sent her a picture of me in my dress, she only responded with a single thumbs-up emoji. That should have been a warning sign. At the reception, I was floating on cloud 9 when I went to the bar to grab a drink. And there she was. Maria, standing there with a too bright smile, acting like she hadn't spent months picking me apart. "You look like you're having a wonderful time," she cooed. "Let me get you a drink. Just relax and enjoy yourself." She handed me a Shirley Temple, a sweet, innocent, non-alcoholic drink. Or so I thought. I took a sip, thanked her, didn't think twice, and then minutes later the world blurred. My body felt heavy. My head spun. My vision darkened. I barely registered the gasps around me as my legs gave out and I collapsed onto the floor. Jaden's voice was the last thing I heard before everything went black. I came to with EMTs hovering over me, asking what I had eaten, what I had drunk. I told them everything, still dazed and confused. That's when Maria stepped forward, looking guilty. She admitted that the drink wasn't just a Shirley Temple. She had spiked it. "It was just a little alcohol," she insisted. "I thought it would help you relax." I stared at her, stunned. My own mother-in-law had secretly slipped alcohol into my drink. At my wedding. But it got worse. My maid of honor, Emily, suddenly spoke up. She took anxiety medication before walking down the aisle, she said, her voice sharp with realization. A chill ran through me. I had taken a small dose to calm my nerves before the ceremony, something I never would have mixed with alcohol. The EMTs explained that the combination of my medication and the alcohol Maria had slipped me had caused my collapse. It could have been even worse. Jaden lost it. His voice shook with rage as he demanded that Maria leave. Right then. Right in front of everyone. Maria's face crumbled. She kept saying it was a misunderstanding, that she hadn't meant to hurt me. But Jaden wasn't having it. "I don't care what you meant," he spat. "You almost sent my wife to the hospital. On our wedding day." For the first time I saw fear in Maria's eyes. Because Jaden, her son, her only child, was choosing me over her. She turned and left, humiliated. But the damage was already done. The reception was ruined. The joyful atmosphere vanished. And as I sat there, still lightheaded, still shaken, I realized something terrifying. This wasn't over. Maria had lost this round. But she wasn't the kind of woman to accept defeat. And I was right. Because a week later she came back, with a check for $55,000. And a chilling proposition. Maria ruined my wedding. That's not an exaggeration. It's not me being dramatic. It's a fact. After months of snide comments about my weight, my dress, and my choices, she did the unthinkable, spiked my drink at my own wedding reception. Because of her, I collapsed in front of all our guests, needed medical attention, and watched my dream wedding fall apart before my eyes. Guests left early. The atmosphere turned somber. The day I had dreamed of for so long ended in disaster. And the worst part? She refused to take responsibility. The fallout. After the wedding, Jaden and I ignored her calls and texts. We needed space. Time to process what had happened. Time to grieve the day we lost. Jaden was torn. He loved his mom, but he was furious. I had never seen him so angry before. He kept replaying it over and over, how she smiled as she handed me the drink, how she acted like nothing was wrong, how she only admitted to it when the EMTs were questioning me. I just felt numb. We tried to move on. Our honeymoon was a much-needed escape. 2 weeks of peace, just the two of us, exploring new places and making new, untainted memories. For the first time in weeks, I felt happy again. But as soon as we pulled into our driveway after returning home, Maria was there, waiting. No apology, just excuses. I braced myself for an apology. Surely she had spent the past few weeks reflecting on what she had done. I was wrong. Maria wasn't there to say sorry. She was there to defend herself. I didn't think it would hurt you, she said. It was just a joke. I was trying to help you loosen up and enjoy yourself. Jaden lost it. Are you kidding me? He snapped. You drugged my wife on our wedding day, and now you're acting like it was some harmless prank? Maria tried to argue, but Jaden cut her off. No more, Mom. From now on, we'll see you on holidays. That's it. No more weekend visits. No more showing up unannounced. You've lost that privilege. Maria's eyes filled with tears. She looked genuinely shocked. Maybe she thought Jaden would always take her side. But he didn't. He chose me. And that's when I saw it, the realization sinking in. She wasn't sorry. She didn't feel bad for what she had done. She felt bad that Jaden was finally setting boundaries. The offer. For weeks, things were quiet. Maria respected Jaden's ultimatum. She didn't visit. She didn't call. Until she did. I was at work when my phone rang. Maria. She was outside my office. My stomach twisted, but I didn't want a scene. I agreed to meet her at a small cafe across the street. She looked different, more nervous than I'd ever seen her. The moment we sat down, she burst into tears. And then she slid something across the table. A check. For $55,000. I stared at it, stunned. It's for you, she sniffled. To make up for what happened. I ruined your wedding and I want to fix it. Please, just take it. I felt sick. Maria wasn't asking for forgiveness. She was trying to buy it. It sounds like you and Jaden are navigating a really difficult situation with as much grace as possible. Maria's actions on your wedding day were completely out of line, and it's understandable that you still feel uneasy about everything, even after her so-called apologies. She didn't take responsibility at first, and even now her attempts at making amends, like offering money, seem more like a way to ease her guilt rather than a sincere effort to fix what she broke. It's good that she's respecting your boundaries for now, but I completely understand why you're hesitant to fully trust that things will remain that way. The fact that she still tried to justify what she did instead of acknowledging how much it hurt you shows that she's still struggling to see past her own perspective. Even when she apologized, it wasn't because she truly understood how she affected you, it was because she wanted things to go back to normal. That's not a real apology, that's an attempt to move on without real accountability. As for the money, you and Jaden are absolutely right to be cautious about accepting it. A financial gesture can't undo what happened, and if you take it, you might always wonder if she'll use it against you later. Like saying, I gave you $5,000, what more do you want? If it doesn't feel right to keep it, maybe you could donate it to charity or put it towards something meaningful rather than viewing it as a payoff for her mistake. The important thing is that you don't feel pressured into accepting it if it doesn't sit right with you. It's encouraging that Jaden is standing by you and making it clear that you both deserve respect. Setting boundaries with family, especially a parent, is never easy, but it's necessary when someone crosses the line the way Maria did. I'm glad you and Jaden are on the same page about prioritizing your peace and well-being rather than just letting things slide for the sake of keeping the peace. At this point, I think the best approach is exactly what you're doing, moving forward cautiously and focusing on the life you're building together. It's okay to keep some distance from Maria if you're not ready to fully let your guard down. Just because she's behaving better now doesn't erase what happened, and trust takes time to rebuild. If she's truly changed, she'll prove it through consistent actions, not just words or money. Most importantly, don't let anyone pressure you into letting it go before you're ready. Healing takes time, and forgiveness, if you ever choose to give it, should be on your terms. You don't owe Maria anything. She's the one who has to prove that she's capable of being a better presence in your life. How are you feeling now that some time has passed? Do you think you'll ever be able to fully trust her again, or do you feel like things will always be a bit strained? This story is a powerful reminder that boundaries are essential in every relationship, even with family. No matter how close someone is to you, Their love doesn't give them the right to disrespect your choices, overstep your limits, or dismiss your feelings. Trust is built on mutual respect, and when that trust is broken, it takes time, and real accountability, to heal. One of the biggest lessons here is that an apology without true responsibility isn't an apology at all. If someone only says sorry because they want things to go back to normal, it's not about making amends, it's about making themselves feel better. Forgiveness is a personal journey, and no one should feel pressured to forgive just to keep the peace. So what do you think? Has this story resonated with you? Have you ever had to set boundaries with a family member or deal with someone who wouldn't take responsibility for their actions? We'd love to hear your thoughts. Share your experiences in the comments. If you found this story relatable or insightful, don't forget to like, share, and comment. Let's keep the conversation going.